Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. In what many people are calling the performance of the weekend, 22-year-old American lightweight Floyd Schofield blasted out former world champion Tevin in one round on the Jake Paul Chavez Jr. undercard on Saturday. Just seconds into the bout, he uncorked an incredibly fast, wicked right hand that caught Farmer totally off guard and deposited him on the canvas. Farmer, being the vet he is, managed to get to his feet and convince the referee that he was okay to continue. But seconds later, he was down again, this time from a wicked left hook. He once again rose to his feet, was allowed to continue, but Schofield stepped in with a combination of shots which prompted the referee to wave it off. Tevin didn't even last 2 minutes with Kid Austin, aka Floyd Schofield. This is a guy coming off back-to-back close fights over 10 rounds and 12 rounds respectively, with 33-0 William Zepeda, who's about to fight Shakur Stevenson in his next bout. No one has ever even come close to doing to Tevin what Floyd Schofield just did. Now, when Schofield was scheduled to fight Shakur Stevenson, I was one of the tiny few people who first of all was intrigued by the fight, and secondly was giving Schofield a decent shot. I weren't making him favorite, but I was giving him a decent shot against Shakur Stevenson. The overwhelming majority of people, from what I remember, were not only deriding that fight, but they were saying it was far too early for Schofield and he could get damaged, he could get hurt, he could get ruined by Shakur Stevenson. It's too early for him, he's too young. I don't know what's happened to boxing fans, and even some pundits and former and current boxers themselves over the past 10, 15 years or so. But it's as if they've totally forgotten that Floyd Patterson became world champion at 21, or that Cassius Clay, as he was then, later on Muhammad Ali, became a world champion at 22, or that Mike Tyson became world champion at 20, or that Wilfred Benitez became a world champion at the age of 17. For God's sake, even Amir Khan became a world champion in his early 20s. Since when did boxing fans become so risk-averse and think that youth was some type of handicap in boxing? Most fans these days act as though a fighter needs to wait till he's damn near 30 years of age before he takes on anyone elite. It's generally believed, accepted even, that heavyweights mature more slowly and therefore later than smaller fighters do. And when you go further down the weight classes, fighters generally tend to peak earlier and therefore have a smaller window of opportunity within which to achieve success. That necessarily means that you should not be waiting until you're damn near 30 to go in there against an elite fighter. On the contrary, you need to be taking on elite fighters when you're closer to 20. Now, of course, I'm not saying that that should apply to every fighter. It all depends on your level of experience. But folks, Floyd Schofield, for those of you who don't know, had over 200 amateur bouts. Did you know that? Kid Austin had over 200 amateur bouts. This is not some wet behind the ears kid who took up boxing 4 years ago and barely had any amateur contests. No, this is a vastly experienced boxer already. Furthermore, Floyd Schofield has what I would describe as a young man's style. It's fast twitch, it's high energy, it's explosive. He throws a lot of shots from unorthodox angles. He darts in and out of range. He lunges in at times. It's quite a unique style. Now, of course, fighters can adapt their style as they get older to accommodate the fact that they're not going to have as much energy in their late 20s or into their 30s as they did in their early 20s. But not all fighters are going to be as successful at that. Some fighters, Roy Jones Jr. being a great example, are far more heavily reliant on their athleticism for success. And when the athleticism goes, they're never the same again. Folks, Mike Tyson peaked in his early 20s. He didn't peak at 26, 27. Yes, this is a heavyweight we're talking about, so they tend to peak later, but yet and still Mike Tyson peaked when he was about 23. Never underestimate the advantage of youth. Talking about things that peak, for the majority of men, testosterone levels peak in your late teens, early 20s. So if you've got a young man's style like Floyd Schofield, you want to be striking while the iron's hot, meaning right flipping now. All this stuff about it's too early for him to fight Stevenson. What a load of rubbish. Schofield has exactly the kind of sudden, dynamic, unorthodox style that could give a more classical stylist like Stevenson all sorts of problems. It's not as if I'm proposing they put Schofield in with some monster puncher who's destroying everyone in the lightweight division. No, I'm proposing they put him in against Shakur Stevenson, a guy who just went 9 rounds with late replacement electrician or plumber or whatever he is, Josh Padley. 9 rounds with Padley. And you're worried about putting Schofield in there with him? I'm baffled. Schofield would not have got ruined. Stevenson's not the kind of fighter that ruins people. All right? Could Schofield have been outboxed? Sure. But so flipping what? The man's 22, has got plenty of time to come back. And with the enormous amount of amateur experience that Floyd Schofield has, over 200 amateur bouts, I think people should have a lot more confidence in him, to be honest. So I say put Schofield in with the winner of Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda next and see what he can do with that youth, with that speed, with that unorthodoxy. He might not be as effective at doing what he does by the time he's 25, 26. Furthermore, Stevenson is 28. If he's not in his prime, he's close to it. If Schofield wants to build a legacy for himself, he needs to be taking on people like Stevenson right now when they're perceived to be in their prime, because that's how you get the credit. That's how you truly arrive on the scene. So people can't say, you beat an old man. So don't wait. Do it now. Sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do it now. Do it. Was that from Predator? Anyway, yeah, do it now. Strike while the iron is hot. If he loses a decision to Stevenson, because that's what it would be, assuming Stevenson gets past Zepeda, we'll see what happens there. But if he were to lose a decision to Stevenson, oh well, you learn from it. He's not going to get ruined by Shakur Stevenson, bro. Stevenson couldn't ruin Josh Padley. How's it going to ruin a young, strong, powerful kid like Floyd Schofield? Like, let's be real. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, I was impressed by Schofield's performance against Tevin Farmer. No, Tevin Farmer is not Shakur Stevenson. He's not as good as that, but stylistically, he is somewhat similar. And I think Schofield, and I said this when their fight was scheduled for Saudi, will cause Stevenson problems, particularly in the early going. And the outcome of that fight would be predicated on whether or not Stevenson could read Schofield. Now, some people are going to automatically assume, of course he could read Schofield. He's a master boxer, Stevenson. Yes, Stevenson's a master boxer, but he's conventional. And he's used to fighting people who are conventional. He's not used to fighting someone like Schofield, who is very unconventional, who leaps in with shots, throws punches from unorthodox angles, and he's very fast and he's got energy because he's so young. He runs red lights, he takes risks. And yes, he could walk into something, but he could also land something that Stevenson doesn't expect because of the fact that he takes risks, because of the fact that he runs red lights. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You got to be in it to win it. So I hope they make that fight for Kid Austin next, the winner of Stevenson Zepeda. I think he's ready for it, or at least ready enough to give it a good go. And with the style he has, it might be the best chance for him right now to beat Stevenson and still get credit for doing so. So I say take the fight. But what say you? Give me your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform? Who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.